Advocate Muhammad Abduroaf. Legal series informing you of your rights. Like and follow for more. I want to appeal a decision of the High Court of South Africa. How do I appeal to the Supreme Court of Appeal? Topic. How do I appeal to the Supreme Court of Appeal? Question. I am dissatisfied with the decision of the High Court of South Africa. How do I appeal to the Supreme Court of Appeal? And what are their contact details? Many legal disputes are adjudicated in the High Courts of South Africa. Each province in South Africa has at least one High Court. If you are not happy with the decision of the High Court, you can appeal to the Supreme Court of Appeal. In South Africa, the Supreme Court of Appeal is the second highest court in the judicial hierarchy, and it primarily hears appeals from the High Court. The Supreme Court of Appeal generally does not hear cases directly but serves as a court of appeal for matters that have already been heard in the lower courts. Here are common circumstances under which you can appeal to the Supreme Court of Appeal. Appeals from High Court decisions. The Supreme Court of Appeal hears appeals from decisions of the various divisions of the High Court. If you are dissatisfied with a judgment or order of the High Court, you can appeal to the Supreme Court of Appeal. Civil appeals. Civil matters, including disputes related to contracts, property, family law, and other civil issues, can be appealed to the Supreme Court of Appeal. Criminal appeals. Appeals in criminal cases, including appeals against convictions, sentences, or both, can be brought before the Supreme Court of Appeal. Constitutional matters. While the Constitutional Court is the highest court for constitutional matters, the Supreme Court of Appeal may still deal with constitutional issues arising in the context of appeals from the High Court. Administrative law appeals. Appeals involving administrative law matters, such as decisions made by government bodies, may be heard by the Supreme Court of Appeal. Interpretation of legislation. Matters involving the interpretation and application of statutes or other legislation can be subject to appeal to the Supreme Court of Appeal. Land and property disputes. Appeals related to land and property disputes, including matters involving land ownership, expropriation, and related issues. Family law appeals. Appeals from family law matters, including divorces, custody disputes, and maintenance orders, can be heard by the Supreme Court of Appeal. It's important to note that, in most cases, before appealing to the Supreme Court of Appeal, you would typically need to have received a judgment or order from a lower court, usually the High Court. The appeal process usually involves filing a notice of appeal, obtaining the record of proceedings from the lower court, and presenting arguments to the Supreme Court of Appeal. Do you wish to appeal to the Supreme Court of Appeal? If you are unhappy with a court decision and require legal assistance regarding a possible appeal to the Supreme Court of Appeal, feel free to contact us for assistance. The contact details of the Supreme Court of Appeal are as follows, as found on https://www.concourt.za/index.php/contact-us/superior-courts-contacts. Telephone, +27 51 412 7400. Fax, +27 51 412 7449. P.O. Box 258, Bloemfontein, Free State, 9300. C&R President Brand and Elizabeth Streets, Bloemfontein, 9300. GPS, E26.21675, S-29.11563. Registrar, Ms. Elizabeth Vermeulen. Email, evermeulen@supremecourtofappeal.judiciary.gov.za. Telephone, +27 51 492 4674. Website, www.justice.gov.za/.